Social thinking, attraction. So self-disclosure is sharing one's thoughts without without any judgment. And reciprocal liking is when someone likes you, you know that they will like you too. When you like someone, when someone knows you like them, you will like them too. So basically, like bouncing off each other's liking each other. Familiar effect is when people prefer stimuli that they've been exposed to more frequently. Aggression is any aggressive behavior uh, due to like dislike or whatever. Amygdala is the part of the brain which associates rewards with punishments, and the limbic system is used to manage emotion and stress. Cognitive neo-association is a theory that we are more likely to respond to others aggressively when we feel negative emotions. So we're snappy when you're pissed at the waiter. You snap at the waiter when you're not having a good day. Attachment, emotional bonds between the caregiver and the child. Secure attachment is when a child can explore and knows it has a secure base to return to. Avoidant is when the caregiver has no response to your stress and child does not care. Ambivalent is when inconsistent response to stress, child does not have a secure base. So child is distressed when the giver leaves, but then has mixed emotions when he or she comes back. Disorganized attachment is when there's no clear pattern when the caregiver leaves and returns. Social support. Social perception that one is cared by the social network, whereas emotional is listening and affirming of someone's feelings. Esteem is giving compliments to bolster their confidence, and material is any type of financial and material contribution. Information is providing information that will help somebody. Network is a type of social construct that gives someone a sense of belonging, and foraging is looking for food. Mating. Monogamy is exclusive mating relationship, where polygamy is multiple mates. Polyandry is many males. Polygyny is many females. Mating choice is selection of mate based on attraction. Mate bias is how choosy members of species are when they're looking for a mate. Direct benefits is providing material advantages, protection, and emotional support, whereas indirect benefits is promoting better survival in offspring. Sensory bias is developing traits that match pre-existing preference in populations. So the crabs building a structure. These phenotypic benefits is observable traits that will make the mate more attractive. Um, Fisherian or runway selection is positive feedback mechanism, which trait has no effect on survival and becomes exaggerated. So the peacock tail is more like the peacock tail has nothing to do with survival, but it's just like, hey, I'm a pretty peacock. I have good genes. That's really all it is. Indicator is a trait that signifies good health and being, and genetic compatibility is mate pairs that complement each other genetically, so they won't lead to a lot of like recessive disorders. Game theory. So game theory is basically when you can kind of say fitness. The idea of the game is to get more fitness in biological terms. Altruism is when a donor provides a benefit at the cost to himself. So a monkey will yell when there's an intruder, the monkey will die, the rest of the society will be okay. Cooperation is when donor and recipient benefit. Spite is when the donor and the recipient are negatively affected, so both are negatively impacted. And selfishness is when the donor benefits and the recipient is impacted negatively. Impression bias. So primacy effect is the first impression is more important, and recency effect is the recent information will be most informing our impression of somebody. Halo effect is when one aspect of a person changes judgments and actions on another. Tom is a good person. There's no way Tom can poison the cake. There's no way Tom can steal from the bank. There's no way Tom can commit a crime. Just world hypothesis is karma, where good things happen to good people and bad things happen to bad people. And self-serving bias is when people view success as internal factors and failures are uh, external factors. Causes. Dispositional is internal and situational is external. Consistency is consistent behavior over time, and consensus cues matches others' behavior. Consensus, you're matching the consensus. Distinctiveness cues use of behaviors in similar situations. Do you behave in distinct situations? If not, then you behave in similar situations. Fundamental attribution bias is biases towards making dispositional, aka internal attributions, than external situationals. Get pissed when a coworker is sick, and you say it's the internal fault of the coworker. He or she is lazy, instead of, oh yeah, he got sick. Attribution bias is using heuristics when making complex decisions. Stereotype, the concept that people are concerned or anxious about confirming a negative stereotype amongst one's social group. So before women drive, if they find a stereotype that, oh, women are worse drivers than men, they will be concerned about confirming the negative stereotype, and eventually they will confirm it because they're so anxious and worried about it. Whereas if you tell a woman to drive and she completes the course in whatever time, she will complete the time better than someone who's given the negative stereotype. Prejudice is irrational, positive or negative attitude towards a person, group, or thing. A lot of times we think prejudice is a negative term, but it's actually also a positive term. And power is the ability of people to achieve goals despite obstacles. Prestige is the level of respect shown, and class is socioeconomic status. Discrimination. Discrimination is taking action against people or others. This is actually the action part of it. Um, Individual discrimination is when one person discriminated against a group. And institutional discrimination is discrimination against a person by an entire institution.